Hi everybody, it's Mr. D and this is lesson 11, day 1, teaching tips. So the first slide that I'm going to go over orally with them is this one, and I'm just going to make sure that they're comfortable with the rhythms, especially with whole rest and the changing value of that, because it calls attention to the time signature and we want them constantly looking at that time signature. And then at the bottom of that slide that I just showed you, just reviewing, making sure, continuing they're practicing the skills of reading the pitches, because later when we do key signatures and skips, it's going to really be important that they can do that. And then the second slide I'm going to go right into is this one, and that one has more difficult rhythms for them. Group rhythm practice, we're going to go right into it, trying to make sure they're just getting more complex things in front of them, that they can execute them well. Keep the beats steady and slow, as always. And I'm constantly asking the kids, right during the exercise, we'll do an exercise and I'll say, what's the value of this note? What's the value of that note? And then we're going to do our forbidden pattern of the day right after that, and it's going to be low do, and high do. And during the game, I'm going to use distractions by asking them, after I sing something, occasionally I'll say, is that an octave? Like if I sing so, mi, do, or something, is that an octave? And they'll say, yes or no, and then they'll think I'm distracting them, and it's quite fun for me. So, and continuing to keep score, as always. And then when they sing their sight singing today, the sight singing example that you see in the lesson 11 for today is quite difficult for them. It's the first time that they have dotted half notes in the middle of an exercise, for example. Lesson 11 is all about incorporating rhythm into it and making sure, in a real sight singing example, making sure that they're utilizing their hands properly, they're pulsing properly, that they're paying attention to the longer value of those notes. It's really, we're putting it all together. We would need them to be successful on this first day, so discuss it carefully with them, make sure they read the data that's at the bottom of it, of that exercise, so that they can be successful, because it's really like they're reading real music. And if they are successful today, make a big deal out of it. I would also say today, we're always incorporating new habits, and the new habit I'm going to make them do today before they actually sing any example is to sing the scale of the key that they're in. Now we're not using the real key, we're using varied but comfortable do. So I'm just going to give them C or C sharp or D or D sharp, but I'm going to make them sing the entire scale up and the entire scale down, ascending and descending, before every time they ever do an exercise. We're gradually incorporating another layer so that they can prepare themselves well before they sing more difficult examples later on. So I'm not going to use follow the hand anymore in order to get them into the key. So that's a big step on this particular lesson. We can still use it in other ways, but it's kind of, now its usefulness for this purpose is gone. All right, so that's the teaching tips for day 1, and I'll see you for day 2.